Hi everyone, Victoria Jennings here. This is Taking Care of Business, and today I'm talking about unlocking your entrepreneurial superpower, the secret to staying focused and fired up. Okay, so we need to be fired up, don't we? Especially when we're doing sales and things like that. Presenting, we need to keep our energy high. And so when we're working in our superpower, we're always fired up. It's natural to us. We want to be there. We want to stay there. And so we enjoy it. We don't procrastinate over it, etc., etc. So, do you ever feel like you're running on empty? Like you're in your business and you're constantly busy, but you get to the end of the day and you look back on the day and you think, what did I actually achieve today? And sometimes you can't even see what you achieved. Does anyone else relate to that? So when it was just me in my business, like when you're beginning, this is often a scenario that will happen and occur. So when it was just me, I felt like I was being pulled from pillar to post, and I'd be working away on a project that would be something to do with the course usually, getting a course ready, getting it finished, doing the PowerPoints or doing the session plans or whatever it might be, but it was usually to do with the course. And I'd be chugging along and really getting some momentum, and then my phone would ring, and because it was just me, I had to answer the phone, and it might have been a sales call, it might have been a follow-up to something I sent out or something like that, and then I'd be into sales mode, which would I have to change a gear to do that because that's not my superpower, okay? So developing courses are my superpower, so I'd have to then go into a different gear in the business, which was not my natural gear. Does that make sense? So it took a lot of energy to get into that space and, to flow with the communication that was occurring. And I can do it well, but it takes me out. It sucks my energy. All right. So anything that sucks your energy is something that you really shouldn't be doing. As quickly as possible, you get rid of that task, whatever that task is. So I'd be doing that and I'd finish that call, and then I'd have to come back down to, doing the course and developing it. If I was coming up with the idea of it, just love doing that. Second nature, that is my superpower, and I wouldn't have to even think about moving gears, right? But if I was doing the detail of the program, so that I could actually deliver it, then I'm in a different space again and a different gear, and I'd have to get myself into that space. And it'd take a little bit of time to warm up again. And then another call would come in, and it might be a coaching client of mine, and they were asking a question that needed answering immediately. And so I would be pulled again back into that gear of communication, and I'd be answering the student and nurturing them, and then, have to go back again down another gear to get back into the project. And so by the end of the day, my energy was all over the place because I was going up and down gears, okay? And my gear is like fourth gear, and some of these other gears are down to first gear. So if you're just moving one gear at a time, it's not so bad. But if you're moving 3 gears at a time, what happens in a car. If it's a manual car, you clunk the gears, right? And you do the same to yourself. It's just like you're clunking your own gears when you have to move from different tasks that are different superpowers to yours. I hope that all makes sense. So have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like you're spinning your wheels in business? You're very, very busy doing stuff. Like, it's not that you've got nothing to do, but when you look back, at the end of the day, you wonder what you actually achieved. If you can relate to that, drop an emoji down in the comments, because I hope I'm not on my own here. So this, what we're talking about today, is a really great way of changing all of that and making sure that you can actually stay in your superpowers, stay in the gear that is natural to you as much as physically, humanly possible, okay? So I'm going to show you how to unlock your entrepreneurial superpower, what that is, and that will give you laser focus and keep you fired up. All right, your energy will be high, and when your energy is high, our productivity is high as well. And that's why it's so important to understand the energies that are going on, to understand your energy, to understand the people around you and their energy, to understand your clients' energy, okay, as well, because the way you want to guide them on the path in your product or service may not be the way they like to be guided. And that's a big problem because they're going to have difficulty with your program. So in the program that you're delivering, you've actually got to make sure you cover all 4 of the energies that we talk about, all 4 of the frequencies. So it's so important to do that and make sure you haven't missed anyone out and you're not alienating anyone, or you're not making them go into that space where they don't feel comfortable. And if they are having to go into space of where they don't feel comfortable, you explain why it feels uncomfortable to them, and let them know there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it won't last very long. All right? Because there are some things we have to learn and some things we have to do, and we just have to suck it up and do it. Otherwise, we'll never move forward in life. So we understand that, but it's really freeing and liberating to understand why you do some things without second guessing, you just do it naturally, and why with other things it's a real struggle and you procrastinate over it, and you know, you make another cup of coffee before you do it, and I'll just make this phone call before I get on with whatever that task is that you're procrastinating over. And when you have a whole team doing that, you have a dysfunctional team, okay? So we don't want dysfunctional teams, and we want to build a team around us as quickly as our business can, support them, right, to delegate the things that we procrastinate over, that we find icky, that takes us out of our flow, that takes us out of who we are. And all I'm talking about is who we are, okay? So to identify your superpower, your entrepreneurial superpower, is the first step to freeing yourself of all of this. And so the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make is trying to be everything to everyone. And this is where people, or some entrepreneurs say, oh, I just want to do it myself because if I give it to so-and-so, it'll never get done. Yeah, and they don't trust their team to do things. But the reason is they've probably got their team completely out of flow as well, doing tasks that are not in their wheelhouse, that are not their superpowers, okay? And that's why the owner then says, I'll do it myself, it'll be quicker or whatever. And it's not, it never is. But they might be delegating to the wrong people, okay? Does that make sense? Because when you delegate to the right people, they have no problem with it. They honestly have no problem with it. They just get on with it, do it, and do it joyfully, all right? And it affects the culture, it affects everyone's way of being, it affects whether they're stressed or whether they're enjoying their job. It affects all of that, and it affects the business owner, the entrepreneur as well, if you're out of alignment, or if your business is out of alignment with who you are. And often that's the case when you buy a business. It can be totally out of alignment with who you are. So what we want to do is focus on what you do naturally and get everybody around you to focus on what they do naturally. And remember, I said, if you're in a startup and you can't afford more staff at the moment, then you can do a skill swap, right, with someone who has a different superpower to you. And you do something for them and they do something for you. And no money has to exchange hands. That's what you can do in the beginning when you're starting your business. So there's no excuses for you to be doing something that you would love to procrastinate over. You know, and all that angst that goes on inside. Oh, I must do this. Oh, I haven't done that yet. Oh, I need to get back to that. All right, we can all relate to this at some stage, okay? So, and you feel bad about it, and you also beat yourself up for not doing it. So I want to stop all of that, because that's a lot of energy being wasted on things that you could be putting towards different things in your business that are actually going to move the needle for your business and create more revenue or more profit, whichever the case may be, right? So, okay, so entrepreneurs fall into certain categories, 4 mainly. So there's the big picture focused people, which are me, right? I love doing 5-year strategic plan. That's a piece of cake, walk in the park. I love looking at business models. I love helping people with their business model. I can see them easily. I love strategies, okay? So that's my wheelhouse. That's what I do. And so then another wheelhouse is the people-focused people. So they're all about communicating, conversation. They do work through conversation. They love variety. They want to make sure that everyone in the team are doing what they should be doing, and they cheerlead the team, okay? Fantastic at doing that. They raise everyone's spirits. They get everybody in the same direction and rowing. They get everyone in the boat rowing in the same direction, like really important stuff for a team, okay? They're your people-focused people. Then we have our getting things done focused people. So they're the ones who love the checklists. They love at the end of the day to have everything ticked off at the end of the day, that they got everything achieved that they set out to do. They're very, very good with current, present time. They are always in the moment, okay, as opposed to the big picture focus, they're always in the future. All right, so the big focus people need the detailed people on the ground who are getting things done. The people who are on the ground getting things done need the big picture people to come up with the strategies so that they can put them in place. Do you see how all of this works together? Okay, so it creates magic when you put all this together, right? And then the last one, the last superpower, is the systems-focused people. So they're all about how to improve the system, KPIs, evaluating everything, analysing everything from every angle, all the detail, dotting I's, crossing T's, making sure everything's in place so that when we go around to the next cycle in business, we've actually improved things, we're actually making a profit. Okay, the people-focused people make sure we make revenue, and the systems-focused people make sure we make profit. Okay, so do you see how all of this works together? So they're on a very, they're on gear 1, the detailed people, because they've got to look at everything from every angle. That takes time. So they're the slowest of the energies, all right? And then the people who are all focused on getting things done, okay, they're all about the timing. So they're in gear 3, right? They're up a little bit higher than the gear 1. They're on gear 2. So they're a little bit higher than gear 1 people, and a little faster than gear 1 people. And then the people-focused people, they're higher again. So they're on gear 3, and they operate on gear 3. That's where they love to operate. And then the big picture people, they're on gear 4. They're flat out on the freeway. Okay, you see? And none of this is wrong. This is just how we're built. And I haven't seen anyone built any differently in all the years I've been working with this system. Okay, so, and I've been working with it since 2006. All right, so it's really important that we can support each other and have everyone working in their gears as much as they possibly can, because that's where they do their best work. All right, and as the owner of the business, you want to be working in that gear as much as you possibly can, because that's going to bring your business the biggest bang for its buck as long as you're working in that gear. Does that make more sense? All right, so we're all on the freeway, but we're all in different lanes on the freeway, if that makes sense. We're all going in the same direction, right? But we're all doing it at different speeds, and that's okay, because we should be doing that. The problem with most businesses is they expect everybody to be working on gear 4, okay, or gear 3. That's where they expect everyone to be, and that's not how we're built. And mistakes happen because of that, because they're not allowing time for the people who are doing the detailed work. So when you understand all of that, you can give yourself permission to be who you are. You can give yourself permission to be fast or slow. And of course, just because I'm fast at strategy, I'm terribly slow with systems. Okay, shocking. I'm not the person to be doing that. I'm not the person to get things done either. I'm hopeless. So, but I know that about myself. I have that understanding, so I don't beat myself up about it either. I just find people to pull in around me to do the things that I don't want to do. And the older I am, and my other business that's 20 years old, the more I've done this, the more I get into the profile that I am. All right, the person that I am, the natural way of being that I am. And I become more and more and more me over the years that I've been doing this and working with this, to the point where I refuse to do things that are not me. I refuse, because it's going to affect me and it's going to affect my business. It's going to cost me money. It's going to cost me time. I'm not prepared to do that anymore. All right. So, but you've got to understand what that is to start with. So what tasks in your business at the moment make you feel energized and they're exciting to you? Type it in the comments below. What type of tasks make you sing, make your heart sing, that you never have to think about doing twice, you never procrastinate over, you just get in and do it? Because that is in alignment with who you are. That's how it should feel every day, all day. When you understand this, that's what you should be working in. That's what you should be always, as much as possible, working in all day. Okay? I'll be interested to see some of those comments later on. I cannot see them on this screen. I don't know why. Probably because I've done something to do with the system. It doesn't work because I'm doing it myself. Okay? So, but I'm going to look at them later and I'll make some comments on there too. So what do people, is another way to look at it, what do people constantly praise you for? Because that's usually your superpower as well. Oh, you're so great at X. What's that X? Because that's also a clue about what your superpower is. And then, what do you procrastinate over? Put that in the comments below. What's something that make you go glassy-eyed and give you headaches, literally give you headaches when you have to do it? That's a really good clue that you shouldn't be doing it. You should be outsourcing that ASAP. All right? Anything we procrastinate over is out of our flow. It brings us down, actually brings us down. Emotionally, talking about. Emotionally. Feels hard, feels like walking through cement. Those sort of tasks. We all have them. And they'll all be different. What floats my boat doesn't necessarily float yours. And that's okay, because I love the diversity that this brings. I love the fact that we're all different. I love the fact that we can all collaborate and build something really beautiful together in business. It's awesome, but you have to understand how that happens, why that happens, and how you can work with it happening. All right. So align your superpower with your business activities always. When you focus on your strengths and build a team or systems around you where your challenges are, then your business grows faster, it gets stronger, and it gets richer. It does, because you're not wasting any time. And time wasting is money. It's money that you could have had in your pocket. It's money that you could have had in profit. Just think of that all the time, all right? Or if it's money you might have had in revenue that you're not getting because of certain things. So for me, at the moment, and this continues on your whole entrepreneurial journey, doesn't matter whether you've got a 20-year-old business or a brand new startup, this happens for everybody, for every business owner. So a current example for me at the moment is I'm engaging appointment setters, and that's been an interesting journey for me. But I'm engaging appointment setters because I procrastinate over doing cold reach out. I hate it. I hate it. It's not me. But when I'm invited into a room, or when I'm invited into a meeting, or when I'm invited, to talk with someone, no problem at all, then I'm great. I can do that standing on my head. I don't procrastinate over that if I'm invited in. But for me to reach out to someone I don't know and start talking about what I do, I find that very challenging. It's not something I can do easily. So therefore, I procrastinate over doing it. I put it off till tomorrow. I put it off till next week. I do all of those things around reaching out to someone cold, which for someone who's now running a coaching business, that's a problem, okay? So I've been learning about appointment setting. I've been learning about social media. I've been learning about all of these things that I didn't have to do in my other business. I never had to do any of this in my other business. So this is all brand new for me. So is that an excuse that I just don't do it? No, I have to understand it, and I have to understand it to engage appointment centres. So I have to understand what they're facing. I have to understand how long the conversation takes sometimes to get the person to book a call. And I do understand all of that now because I've actually done it myself. Even though I didn't like it, I struggled with it. I did it, suck it up sunshine, because I have to know the right questions to ask my appointment setters. I have to understand when they say, oh, I didn't get any today. You know, I have to understand that. Be with them in the trenches. So I have to have an understanding of what that is about. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I am saying I've got appointment centres around me so that I'll get more calls so that I can close them, because my other superpower is I'm a great closer. I'm a fantastic closer, but I'm a hopeless opener, right? So I understand my superpowers, and I understand my challenges, and I understand what's important for the business. If it was up to me, I just wouldn't do this business. If it was up to me to set the appointments, I just wouldn't do it. I dislike it that much. Okay? I'm always a bit of a private person. I don't like saying, hey guys, I can do, I've done this, and you know, and as a result, my business does suffer sometimes because I haven't told you half the things that I've done in my life that are pretty impressive, like writing a book with Jack Canfield, like, you know, having Hollywood red carpet. It's a New York Times best-selling book. I bet a lot of you don't even know that. It's up there on the shelf behind me. There I am with Jack sitting up there. And that's an award that I won as a result of it for a best-selling author. I bet a lot of you here don't even know that about me because I don't like bragging about myself. Okay? But I'm really happy to have someone else brag about me. Does that make sense? And then I'll have the conversation with somebody. So understanding that is vital to my business. It's really about whether the business is successful or not. Understanding that about myself. So the more you understand about yourself, the better. So, and when I have the appointment centers doing all of that, then I have no procrastination going on, no angst, none of that negative talk that happens in your head. Well, I'm never going to get this right. I'm never going to have any people who buy my program that they really, really need, right? Because I can't reach out to them. I'm not going to have any of that going on, which is great. And I'll be focusing on the things that I am good at. And together with my appointment setters, we'll get a lot more people together in my program. And they'll be rewarded for it, and everyone's happy. Right? You getting this? And the people who are doing the cold outreach, they're quite happy to do the cold outreach. They're more than happy to do it because they're good, then they're good at it, right? So what happens is when you're working with your own superpower is there's no procrastination going on. You're going light speed ahead. And in my case, my calendar's getting filled. It was up to me, it'd be empty. All right. So I'm speaking about this. So what's your area that's holding your business back? Because there will be one or two, maybe. What area is that that's holding you back? Where do you need assistance? And as I said, you can skill swap. You don't have to spend money to do this. So if I didn't have the resources that I currently have, and I couldn't pay an appointment setter, well then I would work with someone who didn't like closing, who wasn't good at closing, and I'd do some closing for them. If they would do some outreach for me, cold outreach for me, to book appointments for me, we do a trade. Everyone wins. Okay? So what's one task that you're doing right now, that you should stop doing? Just name one, because that's probably the one, and it gives you the most angst. That's probably the one you should focus on first, to find someone you can outsource it to as soon as possible, because it's holding your business back. Okay? The other thing that you can do too is to build habits that will help you get into your energy space, that will fuel your energy to be in good places. And especially when you're having to do something that's not in your wheelhouse, and then you've got to re-energize. It's good to have, a break. It's good to have to stop what you're doing here, which was out of flow. Have a break, go and do something you really enjoy, and then come back to your flow and be better and settle in easier. Okay, in NLP there's a term for that, and it escapes me at the moment, but it's a break of, I can't remember. It's a break of state. There we go, that's it. You're breaking your state. And it's really important to do that. So there are some ways you can do that. Might be you've got a morning routine that you do. You might do meditation, exercise, journaling. You might do some meditation when you're changing gears during the day. Time blocking, you protect your time. So don't take phone calls when you're doing what you're doing. Let it go to message bank and ring them back. If it doesn't go to message bank, it's probably a salesperson anyway, if you don't know who's calling. If you know who's calling, that's different, right? And you need to talk to them. But if it's a number you're not familiar with, let it go to message bank. They always ring back. Oh, don't worry about it. Okay. Put your mobile phone on airplane mode so you don't get ping, 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 ping. Okay, so that you can focus and concentrate. And then energy breaks, for me, so that will recharge you throughout the day. For me, that might be, and this gives yourself a reward too, I'll go and watch some Alex Hormozi for 20 minutes. I love Alex. And whenever I watch him, I'm always getting more ideas and more strategies, and he just really inspires me and inspires my ideas, right? So I love to watch him, so that might be the reward that I give myself. For you, it might be a piece of chocolate. I don't know. Whatever that reward is, you do that. That helps you keep your energy up all day. That helps you break state so that you can change gears without clunking. Does that make sense? So these are just some little tips to help you stay in flow, all right? If you enjoyed today's session and you want to dive deeper into building a business that thrives, understanding your superpower and others, and being in your genius zone, well, I've got something for you. I'm opening up 3 spaces for you to come in and do a debriefing call with me, where I go through your profile. We also look at your business, and we look at how aligned your business is to your profile at the moment, and what things you can put in place to help you around those bottlenecks that are holding you back. All right. So it's a 30-minute call with me. This one will be with me. So 3 of them only. So just put down in the comments below Superpower, and I'll make sure I'll send a DM. We'll get a DM to you with a link on how to book a call with me. But I'm only doing it for 3. When the 3 are booked, the 3 are gone. Okay? This is especially for my private group right now. All right, so don't forget, type Superpower in the bottom. We'll go through your profile. And remember, the moment you unlock your superpower, you gain the energy, clarity, and focus to build the business of your dreams effortlessly. Seriously, effortlessly. You will be in that beautiful zone of where everything's easy. And that's where we want you to be. Thanks very much for joining me for the session today in Taking Care of Business. I look forward to seeing you next week at the same time, same station, and have a great week. Bye, everyone.